Still thugging, still leaning to the back. You can bet that. You can bet that. Welcome to Unsportsmanlike Conduct, and you can bet that I am the host, Matthew Geller, and we have a tremendously fun show today, and this is going to truly test unsportsmanlike conduct, because I'm not playing today. There's so much nonsense in sports right now, and I got to get straight into this, so let's get to it. Look, Tom Brady. Is there trouble in paradise in Foxborough? Because it seems like between the three wise men of Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, there is disharmony. And it all centers around the trainer, Alex Guerrero, who, between him and Brady, started TB12 and has him playing at an MVP level at 40 years old, which is sick. That never happens, but he is, and he's playing fantastic right now. But so this is what happened. The new players that would come to New England would feel like, okay, I want whatever Tom Brady has and is playing at this level at 40 years old, I want it too. So Brady's like, hey, go see my guy, we'll take care of it. Unfortunately for Belichick, the New England Patriots have their own doctors and own trainers and their people, and they're not really feeling this going to off-site or going to Brady's personal guy on-site. So what does Belichick do? He bans him from the facility. Well, of course, that's going to alienate his quarterback, and that's, Guerrero's his guy. So now there's friction between Belichick and Brady. So there's a contract extension being talked about with Brady and how much longer we could play. And of course, him being the whiny little girl that he is, goes in and meets with Kraft behind Belichick's back and says, look, I'm going to sign this contract, but I am not going to do it as long as Jimmy Garoppolo's on this payroll. It's just not going to happen. He's got to go. Well, Belichick's like, no, I'm not. He is the future. He is going to be the segue into the new dynasty that is New England football, because as everybody knows, it's really not Brady that's doing this stuff. It's Belichick. And don't forget, 3 of his Super Bowl rings, 3. He had Hall of Fame defensive players, all Ty Law, Asante Samuel, Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi. Just that sick amount of talent that was around him, and they were winning games like 20-17. It wasn't like he was lighting it up. And please don't forget when Skip Bayless went on the air on Undisputed, and it has not been disputed that in 2001, Tom Brady was playing the Oakland Raiders when he tucked the ball, and everyone knows it was a fumble, and they were up in the booth. Skip Bayless was in the press box when somebody from the league office, who has yet to be identified, but Skip Bayless said it was Goodell or Tagliabue, I can't remember, whoever the commissioner was at the time, directly called the booth, the press box, and told the director of officials to overturn the call because it was called a fumble. So there's been a whole thing with him, because if the game actually ends the way it's supposed to in 2001, Belichick already said Drew Bledsoe would have been our quarterback next season, and that nobody would have heard of TB12. So all of this right here, and let's go back just a little bit further, if you will, sports fans. If you remember, Bill Belichick was the D coordinator for the New York Giants. If K-Gun offense was Reed, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas. They had guys running all over all the time. As a matter of fact, the AFC Championship game when the Buffalo Bills went on to play the New York Giants in the Super Bowl, that game, the AFC Championship, was against Oakland Raiders, who had a pretty solid team. And I think Howie Long was on the team. I'm not sure on that, but I think he was. Anyway, they had a really good defense, and they beat him like 55-10 or 55-3, something like that. They were running up and down the field on them. They called it K-gun. They couldn't stop this offense. In the final score in the Super Bowl, I think Christie missed that field goal. It was 20-19 was the final. The Giants held on because he missed the field goal. Nevertheless, 19 points after they scored 55 points the week before, 2 weeks before, against in the AFC Championship against Oakland. They get held to 19 points. And, excuse me, the director of that defense, the coordinator for the New York Giants was the one and only Bill Belichick. Go a step further, LT, Lawrence Tom, the linebacker, LT for the New York Giants, went on record as saying, I didn't even like Bill Belichick. I don't know who he is. I don't like him. They bring him in as a D coordinator. And at the end of his time with Bill Belichick, Lawrence Taylor said, and I quote, I trust Bill Belichick more than anybody in the history of me playing this game. Now, that is from a Hall of Fame D, and Lawrence Taylor already said the best mind in football. So let's not get carried away with this. Who's responsible for this dynasty in New England? Everyone knows that Bill Belichick is the one that put it together. And without that, Tom Brady would be a 7th-round pick from the University of No One Cares. And that's just the way that it is. So let's focus on the facts, okay? The facts of this matter are Bill Belichick has an issue with Tom Brady and his nonsense in Foxborough. So he's saying, you know what? We're getting up there in years. I'm going to draft a quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, and he'll be a transition in when Brady leaves. Well, Brady's trying to, and if this sounds familiar, I'm going to tell you about it. It is the same syndrome that Brett Favre suffered from. Look at me. I need attention. I'm at the end of my career. I'll hold out. Blah, blah, blah. It's girl stuff, man. This is what girls do. Nobody even wants to hear this stuff. Tom Brady is a clown. Nobody cares about what he has to say for real, for real. No one cares. No one cares. They voted him the league MVP because, and I'm not even going to go into that why. They love to see somebody who's not. Drew Brees throws for more yards, is better every year than Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. There's better quarterbacks that have better years. And Tom Brady is just happens to benefit from playing with one of the, if not the greatest minds in the history of the National Football League. Amendola went on record this week or a week before and saying that Bill Belichick is an asshole. That's exactly that was his words. But he said, do you know that when we're at practice, we'll practice things that people are just like, when you're doing it, you're like, this is so stupid. Like, why would we practice a play when a one-arm guy comes out of the stand and plays the trumpet and has a monkey bouncing up and down? Why would you practice that play? And then he said the next week at the game, there's a one-armed guy comes out of the stands with a monkey and he's playing the trumpet. It's crazy. He said Bill Belichick gets us ready like no other coach. He said that's why when we're in situations, we never worry about it because we've already prepared for it. They didn't say, well, we believe in Tom Brady will take us there. They know Bill Belichick will get them there. So anyway, to bring it all home, Belichick is irritated with this. And Brady goes to Kraft, crying to Kraft, and Kraft says Brady will not sign his contract until Jimmy G is out of here. So Kraft forces Belichick to trade Garoppolo, and then he trades Cooks. And they're just like, if you really look at the moves that Bill Belichick made this season, I could have sworn he's just sabotaging his team. Like, going forward, I know I'm not going to be here anyway, and I'm not being respected as the greatest NFL coach of all time. I'm not being treated like that. So I tell you what, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and damn Kraft and damn Brady. So this is something to look at going forward because it is toxic in Foxborough. The coach doesn't like the quarterback. The quarterback doesn't like the coach. But the owner likes the quarterback, and then the coach works for the owner. So I don't really see this ending well. I think our the years of the dynasty that is New England is over with now. It is over. I'm not even worried about it anymore. I'm not even gonna think about it. Obviously, they have a good team with a good roster. I don't know how much effort Belichick will put into this season, but you obviously they're going to win the East, the AFC East, because it's just weak and there's nothing there. So they're like, oh, we're going to win the East. No Super Bowl this year for New England. None. Forget it. It is over. Book it, bet it, do whatever you want to do. The New England Patriots will not make the Super Bowl this year, and that's just the way that it is. So get used to it, all you doucher New England fans that love TB12 and his crap. Anyway, that's what's going on with that. In other news, let's talk about Shea Patterson, because it seems like everybody wants to talk about this, and whatever. No one ever talks about Shea Patterson, even at Ole Miss. They don't talk about him. Like, this guy is nothing. Here, look, these are some facts. 9 of the 14 quarterbacks that were on a roster last year in the Big Ten threw for more yards and more touchdowns than Shea Patterson. Like, they seem like they're getting Michael Vick or Aaron Rodgers. They're like, we're just getting this out. You're getting a nobody quarterback, but the hype machine that surrounds the University of Michigan and their douchebag fans, it's insane. It literally is insane. And the people are so stupid, and I hate to say it, but it's just what it is. Sheeple. That's what you are, sheeple. And you listen to this fodder, this madness that is ESPN and these other outlets that like, hey, yeah, Michigan's going to be really good this year. No, they're not. They were 8-5 last year. They're the only team in the Big Ten not to win their bowl game. Period. That's it. Every other team in the Big Ten won their bowl game. You said, well, that's all we needed was a quarterback. Well, you still don't got a quarterback. 9 of the 14 quarterbacks in the Big Ten threw for more yards and more touchdowns than Shea Patterson last year. Shea Patterson. Nobody even knows who this guy is. He's a clown. But the hype machine for the University of Michigan got him to being a Heisman winner this year. Knock it off. It is ridiculous. Listen, Ole Miss. Okay, so Patterson ended up getting hurt and missing the end of the season. They go 3 out of their last 4 wins. They lose 1. They win 3 out of the last 4 without him. One of the games when he's the quarterback, they scrounged up 3 points against Alabama, 66-3. Would you knock it off? Shea Patterson is clown status. He is a joke. The University of Michigan football team is a joke. This hype machine is in full. They're 8-5 last year, man. Well, how do you make up 5? You had 5 wins. Michigan State had, 5 losses. Michigan State had 3 losses with all young players. Michigan State's looking to go undefeated this season. Ain't no 5-4-3 losses. That's unacceptable. This year it's undefeated in the Big Ten and playing for a national championship. The University of Michigan, on the other hand, they have different goals. Like, let's not finish 6th in the Big Ten East, you know? It's just, enough. Do you remember when Harbaugh started in Michigan? The only thing you heard was he's a genius with quarterbacks, remember? Because he made Colin Kaepernick a really good quarterback. Where's Colin Kaepernick? Out of the league. Then he was at Stanford, or vice versa. I don't remember which it was. I think it was Stanford. And before that, before he went to San Francisco, and he made Andrew Luck a superstar. If you don't knock it off, Andrew Luck was a superstar before him. What did Stanford win when he was there? Anything? Because I don't remember it. And I'm pretty good at remembering things, and they didn't win anything. What did San Francisco win? Everybody knows that this was a whole Tony Dungy, John Gruden situation with Mike Singletary and Jim Harbaugh. Mike Singletary molded that team, got him to play the way he wanted, and he had a beef with that tight end, and they got rid of him and brought in Harbaugh, and Harbaugh sneaks into the NFC Championship game, gets smacked around in the Super Bowl by his brother, and what did he win? He didn't win anything. Stop talking about this Jim Harbaugh. He's been in Ann Arbor for 3 years. He's 1-5 against the teams he was brought in to beat. This guy's career is a failure. Which he's perfect where he's at because the University of Michigan football is a failure. So, the two go hand in hand. But don't sit up here and talk to me. And Spartan fans, don't waste my time with this. We need to work.